Hello everyone, I'm Kaitlin.
And I'm Jillian.
And we are the hosts of the OK Drama podcast.
Where two friends recap and break down K-dramas one episode at a time.
It's the finale!
Yay!
Woo! I'm excited.
I really liked episode 15.
Me too.
It was really good.
I cannot wait. Sorry if I sound low energy. I'm very tired, and it's not even that late.
No, it's not.
But
It's 7:20.
But we're gonna get through this.
Yes.
So let's just jump into it.
All right.
Episode 15 is called Level Up, and the Netflix synopsis is: with the case unresolved, Gukdu's team visits Minhyuk's company to gather clues. Gukdu hears from Bong Soon the details of last night's events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because I read that kind of weirdly, but it didn't really make sense in my brain. Like, it kind of seemed like not good sentences.
Yeah.
But Gukdu hears from Bong Soon the details of last night. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We know what happened, and we're going to tell you.
We're going to talk about it.
So we start 15 with the last few minutes of episode 14. Bong Soon is still chained in the utility room with the bomb taped to her, and Minhyuk is like basically being like, "Don't cry, we're gonna die together. It's fine. Like, don't be scared."
Mm-hmm.
And Park Hyung-sik's romantic song is playing. It's a very intense way to start an episode, especially like if you had never seen it before.
Yeah,
like
just jumping in,
super jarring. So again, Bong Soon like pleads to get her power back. The gods give her power back. She saves him, throws the bomb in the air, fireworks. It's awesome. Superpower girl
bomb fireworks.
Yeah,
so weird.
It's so dumb. But cute. But also,
what?
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of K-dramas are. It's like, wow, that's great and really cute, but why? Anyway, so we're done with the Superpower Girl song, fireworks. Soft employees are cheering. Blah, blah, blah. So then we cut to Bong Soon and Minhyuk, who seem weirdly kind of chill at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they were crying on the rooftop and stuff. But they're just, like, walking through the halls of the company, like, very casually.
I thought it was really interesting, like, you're going to talk about it in a little while, how they go eat and stuff, but, like, shouldn't they have stuck behind and maybe talked to authorities or bomb squad and make sure there was no other bombs in the building? Like, maybe they should have made a statement?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything was just so happy at this point. Like, they saved the day, but the kidnapper is still out there.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I know that, like, Bong Soon... So we know Bong Soon wants to be, like, whatever, on the down low. Mm-hmm. And Minhyuk hates the cops. So maybe they were like, we'll deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
We survived. I don't know. But yeah, the mood is interesting after, like, literally just almost dying.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Seconds away.
Yeah, so they're, like, holding hands. They go out to eat. Bong Soon kind of, like, teases him about spending the night with him.
Uh-huh.
And Minhyuk is, like, super horny at this point, I guess.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like, they just almost died.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that could
make them want a bone.
Yeah, that could get things going. But anyway, so Bong Soon's dad keeps, like, calling and asking for Bong Soon to come home, so they don't end up spending the night at that moment in time. But, okay, another weird moment. As Minhyuk drops her off, Bong Soon grabs Minhyuk's hand and tells him that today was one of the happiest days of her life. So weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Almost dying. Well, I mean, I guess, like... Okay, I would phrase it as, this was one of the most intense days of my life, because you have, like, the joy of getting your power back and saving yourself and a lot of people.
And then you had good food with the guy you really liked.
Yeah, and you were, like, teasing him about, like, doing it.
Uh-huh.
But also, like...
How is it the best day? Like, happiest day?
You need to have happier days, Bong Soon.
Yeah.
I think, like, for me, watching her... I would have said, like, going to the amusement park with Minhyuk, probably. Or, like, the picnic.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah. Not almost being blown up.
Wild. She's crazy.
She is. She's kind of dumb, but we love her. It's fine. Anyway, Minhyuk seems like really happy. She's happy. Minhyuk says he's not sleeping after she leaves because, again, he's like really in love and horny and just feeling a lot of feelings at this point.
A lot on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Minhyuk at this point thinks about the bomb situation that happened earlier and how Bong Soon kept screaming for him to leave, trying to save him. Bong Soon thinks about how Minhyuk told her that he would stay by her side and not be scared. So they're basically thinking of each other's perspective of that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts thinking about their first kiss and how he said he would protect her earlier on in the series. He, on the other hand, can't stop thinking about how Bong Soon suggested that she stay over with him, and he tries to get rid of his sexual frustration with exercise. And so it's just like a little montage of him just jumping on the sofa and doing little, like, running motions and stuff.
And, like, push-ups.
Yeah, and then he stops, and then it's like a why the moment, because then you hear, like, a boing sound effect, and it's like, oh my god. I was alone watching this, like, what the fuck?
I'm like, dude, you live alone. Just take care of it yourself.
I'm sure you have before, Minhyuk. Just do what you gotta do. Feel better. And go to sleep.
She was.
But yeah, he tries to exercise, and apparently he can't. Bong Soon and Minhyuk are both, at this point, tossing and turning in bed, thinking about each other, blah, blah, blah. He gets up for some water, and then Bong Soon shows up at his house. And, like, there's a knock at the door, and he walks in that direction. Suddenly, she's inside. Mm-hmm. So she just kind of let herself in. I don't know how, but she's a strong girl, so she...
Well, a lot of doors in Korea are just keypads. So she knows his password.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so she shows up, and she says that she missed him. And then there's a romantic making out on top of a piano scene. He, like, grabs her and puts her on top of the piano.
Yeah. And
it's kind of a thing. There's something going on there.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
Yeah. And then the next day at work, they're being super lovey-dovey, and poor Mr. Gong has to deal with this whole situation on the elevator with them. It's just the three of them. Very uncomfortable. And he says he's been at work since yesterday, and to not worry about him since he has a firm head. Poor Mr. Gong. Like, nobody asked if he was okay. They probably literally just left him there overnight.
That's kind of what he's implying, I think.
It's fucked up.
I know.
No cops came, except for Gukdu, who's, like, kind of a bad cop.
Yeah.
Because you should be calling your group, your crew, to come and help instead of trying to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
Everyone leaves. Nobody checks if there's anyone hurt in the building. Again, no one checks if there's a bomb in the building.
Yeah, that should have been, like, an all-night affair, and, like, no one come to work the next day.
Yeah. Work is canceled tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you saved your work. Just in case.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Then we get another kind of why though shot of Mr. O and Toothless, which is that creepy, gross gangster, meeting each other in the hospital, which again, those two guys are played by the same actor, and it's kind of like,
let's just have them meet.
Yeah. So, of course, Mr. O kind of freaks out. I realized watching that Mr. O kind of reminds me of Nathan Lane in The Birdcage.
Okay.
How he's just kind of like always screaming.
Yeah. All this guy does is scream.
So, which I love The Birdcage. It's one of my favorite movies. Anyway, more why though, hoodlum, dumb stuff. The hoodlums are reading Big Talk's poetry book and like half making fun of it, half enjoying it. And Bong Soon goes to where she was chained up on the roof of Ironsoft and vows to be the one to catch the kidnapper. I finally wrote down his name. It's Kim Jong-hyun.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like you said, all of this just happened the night before. But it felt like it happened, I don't know, weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were just like partying and being all lovey-dovey. Nobody seems uncomfortable when they're together.
Yeah.
As a group. Like even Mr. Gong, who was apparently left there overnight, doesn't really seem too fazed by it. Just making jokes, you know? Like, it's kind of a big
par
deal.
for the course. Working at Ironsoft, you just almost get blown up and hit over the head with a big wrench. Finally, the police start doing, like, police work.
Mm-hmm.
And they start posting flyers and making people aware of the kidnapper.
Oh, that's nice.
Who he is. I guess, to be fair, they thought he was dead until that point, but still, I don't know. I feel like they still should have put out flyers because they never found his body.
Yeah.
So it should be like, have you seen this guy? He's might be dead. I don't know. But
and it's really suspicious when a jacket works its way up to shore, but no body does.
Yeah, that's like, jackets don't typically float.
Yeah,
like
and when did that jacket like come off of his dead body?
Exactly.
You know,
he just had it in the car with him.
Took it off when he got in the car to run away.
Yeah, it's dumb. Anyway, so flyers are going up. Gukju's police unit are upset that the kidnapper is still alive, and they realize that Bong Soon was the person he's been after.
Ooh.
So Bong Soon tells Gukju about what went down the previous night, how Min-hyuk stayed by her side, and how she got her power back to throw the bomb into the air. Gukju hugs Bong Soon in the Einsoft cafe before leaving, basically saying, like, that he's happy for her and he'll always be there for her, blah, blah, blah. We're just friends, stuff. Mr. Gong sees all of this and he's like, ooh, which is kind of like me. I've got a secret to tell. Not
to tell.
It's not
to keep to myself.
So Min-hyuk decides, like, separately in his office, he decides to add the kidnapper's wanted person flyer to the loading screen of his video games. And then Mr. Gong comes in and tells Min-hyuk about Bong Soon and Gukju meeting in the cafe, and they act all dramatic, and Min-hyuk gets all upset. And makes Mr. Gong show him how Gukju hugged her. So they're, like, reenacting the hug. Which is funny because Mr. Gong is like, well, you know, he's, like, very tall and strong, so you're gonna have to get lower.
God.
Anyway, they're, like, hugging, and Mr. Gong says, like, it almost looked like she was, like, in her mother's arms. Like, it was a very caring hug. So Mr. O comes in as Mr. Gong is hugging Min-hyuk and freaks out.
There's the scream again.
But Mr. Gong carries him away. I think we get, like, a little flash of what Mr. O is, like, thinking about, right? Like,
yes, he imagines, like, himself hugging him.
Like, slapping,
Mr. Gong, and then taking his place and hugging Min-hyuk.
Yeah, and Min-hyuk looking happy. But yeah, Mr. Gong just comes in and, like, carries Mr. O away. We get more dumb big talk, monk gangster stuff. I don't even remember what. I just wrote that sentence.
I don't know. Bong Soon's dad, at this point, leaves a note for her mom at the cafe. Doesn't actually tell her anything in person, because he's a scaredy cat. And he's basically saying, he's leaving and don't come looking for me.
Just these people leaving notes.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I know.
And then we see him camping and enjoying a big old bowl of ramen. And it looks really good.
Yeah, I love watching Korean dramas and, like, variety shows or whatever, because Koreans will eat ramen, like, fucking anywhere. It's kind of wild. Like, I watched this one variety show where these people went hiking and they brought, like, the little containers of, like, the to-go ramen. And they brought, like, a thermos of just hot water. And they, like, poured the water in the little cups of ramen and ate ramen, like, on the side of a trail while hiking.
Okay.
So it's, like, very much you can eat ramen anywhere, I guess. You just need the cup and hot water.
Hot water, yeah, definitely the hot water. Bong Soon goes back to the office, but Min-hyuk isn't there. And she's kind of asking where he's at. Have you seen him? And Mr. Gong tells Bong Soon that he's either on the roof or making his rounds, because that's what he does when he's upset. And then he kind of just runs away because he doesn't want to tell her, like, hey, I told on you.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Again, another coward.
Yeah. Mr. O calls out for Bong Soon, and she is overly friendly with him. She makes coffee for him and then wraps a spoon around his wrist, and to add to his, quote, arm party. And that was in regards to, did we just hear arm party somewhere?
Yeah, your friend's jewelry party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, where's that word from? I know it. Yeah, my friend had a jewelry party, and she said arm party for bracelets.
Yeah, if you wear more than one bracelet, it's called an arm party.
Mm-hmm.
I had read that on a blog, like, years and years ago. You know Man Repeller?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would refer to her, like, multiple bracelets as arm parties.
Arm parties. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mr. O has an arm party now going on because he's got a chopstick and now he's got a spoon.
All utensils.
Yeah. And he tells her to leave Earth and then he faints. It's so dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Minhyuk is on the roof balcony area looking all upset and he calls Gukdu. He asks to meet and of course Gukdu is all Gukdu about it and he's like, yeah, I'll text you the address. And he hangs up on Minhyuk. And Minhyuk is like, ugh. It's so impossible to like him. Like, I fucking hate this guy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because Minhyuk, when he called Gukdu, he was like, hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, trying to have a nice tone to his voice. And then Gukdu's all like, I'll text you, bye.
Yeah. Maybe Minhyuk was being, like, quote, informal.
Oh, yeah, that's
in his speech. And Gukdu didn't like that. Because I think that comes up later in their conversation. Bong Soon finds him up there and she's being really sweet and flirty with him. And at this point, he's trying to get mad at her for hugging Gukdu and at the cafe, at work, whatever. He's very upset. But he fails once she kisses him on the cheek. And he suddenly turns into like this big lovey-dovey baby. And it's just like, I don't know, this actor moves in such a funny way when she does something cute. And he kind of like has his arms together. Yeah. I can't even describe his body language, but it's just so funny and cute.
It's very, like, Korean cutesy. I guess this could be a say what. This is a little impromptu say what.
Okay.
Have you heard of, like, aegyo? I don't know
if
I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. Aegyo, something like that. But it's basically, like, being super cutesy. And it's kind of, like, a thing in Korea that, like, some people do, and so you would say like, oh, she's got a lot of aegyo or something, like, or so when he's clapping like really small or like pointing his two fingers at each other, that's like very classic stereotypical like aegyo kind of funny stuff. Yeah, so it's very Korean, I think.
All right, cool. Well, he's doing like basically all of that, and he's got his like hands together, and he's just kind of rocking back and forth, and just all smiles and hugs and adorable. So yeah, he can't stay mad at her. And then I think he even makes a comment like, "Oh, what's the big deal? Like, I've hugged employees before. I've hugged female employees. It's okay."
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
It's fine. And he just forgets all about it, basically.
Okay, so Bong Soon has already come over to Minhyuk's house, like, that night. So in theory, they spent the night together. So, to me, I think it's interesting that Minhyuk gets really jealous, because I'm assuming they slept together that night. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh, whatever, like, they're hugging.
And I think...
we just slept together. She's my girlfriend. It's... I don't know. I think it's kind of weird.
I think part of that is the fact that, he knows how much she liked Gukdu.
Yeah.
And how all over him she was and dying to be with him. And I'm sure some of that kind of insecurity is still with him.
Yeah, it's lingering.
Like waking up from a drunken night and seeing that Gukdu's like nicely tucked in and he's just kind of thrown there. But also, you have to think about it. Maybe they're hugging because, she almost died last night.
Yeah.
With a bomb. And she's okay now, and he's a police officer, and they've known each other for years.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I guess if he's, like, the jealous type, which he kind of seems to be, I guess. Well, I don't know. Obviously, he, like, gets over it when she kisses him, so it's fine. I just thought it was interesting, because it's like, dude, y'all just, like...
Yeah.
Did it, probably.
Most likely.
Why are you getting so upset, like... Because to me, well, I don't know. To me, like, once you've taken that step, it's kind of like, you know, you've progressed your relationship to another point. I don't know. Anyway, and that's just what I was thinking about. Moving on. Mr. O and Mr. Gong get ice cream.
Yum.
And they talk about Bong Soon some more, and how Mr. O was jealous of Mr. Gong and Minhyuk hugging. And they're just kind of, like, ribbing with each other and making fun and eating ice cream. And they're kind of a funny little pairing together.
They're a fun duo.
Bong Soon and Min Hyuk again are very loving while eating lunch, just like feeding each other and stuff like that, making Mr. O jealous. Back at the office, Mr. Gong and Min Hyuk are looking at models to use in upcoming campaigns, and Mr. Gong suggests that they use a model that Min Hyuk liked in the past, and they're both being like bros about it, like, oh, you really liked her, like, anyway, it's kind of dumb. Then Min Hyuk sees Bong Soon's death glare and tries to be like, I never liked her. You're crazy. We should use male models. I prefer male models.
I always ask for those.
Yeah, so dumb. So while this is going on, Bong Soon texts Gukdu saying that she needs to talk to him and asks to meet him later that night. So then we cut to Gukdu and Min Hyuk drinking soju at a restaurant, looking like super aggro with each other. Not aggro, aggro. They both say Bong Soon's name at the same time, but then they start bickering. Fucking Gukdu is an idiot and asks if Min Hyuk likes Bong Soon. What a question. What a dummy. Seriously, I can't with this guy. Anyway, they fight some more. Min Hyuk tells Gukdu to stay away from my girlfriend. They stand up and grab each other's collars, and then Bong Soon comes in and breaks it up. I was floored when Gukdu was like, hey, do you like Bong Soon?
Yeah.
I mean, because he knows that they were dating, right?
He knows the whole story at this point, I would imagine.
And Min Hyuk is always like, hey, I've got Bong Soon.
Yeah.
I assume he knew they were dating.
I mean, I know he knows that Min Hyuk likes her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he knows that Min Hyuk likes her.
So I don't...
So why is he asking?
I don't know.
It's so weird. I feel so bad because they just gave Gukdu, like, the dumbest lines. And it makes it hard to like him as a character.
He doesn't say much, but a lot of what he does say is just like,
it's dumb.
Come on.
Yeah. I feel bad. It's not the actor's fault, honestly.
No, it's the writing.
You know how, like, in Gilmore Girls, where Dean used to be, like, really cool, and then when Jess comes in, they make Dean, like
real lame.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they did to Gukdu, to, like, make Min Hyuk seem cooler.
Yeah, I never noticed or paid attention that Dean used to be kind of cool. Interesting.
Well, because, yeah, I mean, I really picked up on this listening to the Gilmore Guys. But, like, when Dean and Rory first meet, it's kind of a thing because Dean moved there from Chicago or something like that. So he was, like, a city kid, and he knew her references, and he fixed a car for her and got her a car, and he was, like, kind of a little bit rough around the edges, but, like, had the same references as her and stuff. And then Jess comes in, and then Dean's all like, I'm whatever, captain fucking football team, like, bro. And he's like, why aren't you coming to my softball games? And, like, I don't know. Anyway, but I'm Team Jess, so it's fine.
Same.
So yeah, poor Gukdu. So Bong Soon breaks it up. She tells them to stop acting dumb, and she's like, hey, while we're all here, I want to catch the kidnapper, and you guys should help me. And they're like, okay. But then she's like, this probably isn't the best time, because they've been drinking, and she wants to drink, but they don't let her.
They're in public.
Yeah, and so she just starts pouring them drinks to kind of, like, ease the tension.
We then get a shot of her carrying the guys into Min Hyuk's house, just like she did a few episodes back. She props them up on the sofa, and the next morning, as Bong Soon is leaving for work, her mom tells both Bong Soon and Bong Ki that their dad left and didn't come home. And both of them are like, the fuck? Did you hit him again? What did you do? Did you yell at him? Which, yeah, technically she did or was about to do all of those things.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell anyone, which is also fucked up.
Yeah.
Min Hyuk wakes up hungover, but he's also very happy to see that this time around Bong Soon tucked him in very nicely, and Gukdu is on the couch without a blanket. And I think he makes a comment like he must be very cold.
Yeah. Like, he was like, I mean, the least she could have done is give him a blanket.
Oh, he's so happy.
Yeah.
And then when Bong Soon comes over, he's just overjoyed to see her, as usual. But she's upset at this point because her dad left. And she doesn't know where he's at, really. Then, over breakfast, she tells the guys that she wants them to help her catch the kidnapper. And we get a shot of the kidnapper all upset. He's throwing a fucking tantrum in this, like, abandoned house.
I mean, he's got mental issues.
Yeah, he's losing it. He's
Yeah.
kicking on the floor and throwing shit and just... Oy.
Not good.
No. Don't want that anywhere near me.
Oh, no.
Bong Soon and the boys discuss the plan to catch the kidnapper in Minhyuk's basement lair thing. And even though the guys still hate each other, they make Bong Soon promise not to act on her own and discuss plans with them this time around. Gukdu tells them that the kidnapper will most likely try to leave the country by being smuggled onto a cargo boat. Then Minhyuk calls Big Tech and is like, hey, you owe me one, remember? Find the brokers who will help the kidnapper escape. And then Big Tech tells his guys to look into it. So they're kind of pulling their resources all around.
Yeah. And I love how Big Tech is like, we finally got a way to pay our debt.
Yes.
Like, he's kind of excited about it.
Finally, he and his crew are coming in handy.
Yes.
It took this fucking long.
I know. Anyway.
Nothing to say there.
No. Bong Soon calls her neighborhood hoodlums, and she asks them to upload footage of the kidnapper on their blog, which she's hoping will provoke the kidnapper so he'll make a move and be vulnerable. The kidnapper is having a hard time getting around because of all the wanted posters, and people are, like, calling his shit in. He goes to a weapons dealer and buys, like, a super intense gun, which, again, are illegal in Korea. I think the guy mentions, like, oh, the KGB uses it. Like, it's from Russia. Okay, so then the weapons dealer tattles on, like, the kidnapper, and I think what he does is he calls someone, that someone calls one of Big Tech's guys. And then
it all goes around.
Yeah, it's like a little chain. So everyone's got eyes on the kidnapper at this point. The guy with the scar on his face, like the bigger, whatever, sidekick, tells Big Tech that one of his informants gave him when and where the kidnapper is leaving and that he bought a sniper rifle. Big Tech calls Minhyuk and tells him everything, and Minhyuk gets another call saying a convenience store clerk spotted him in his store. They realize he is intending to leave by boat and shoot Bong Soon before he leaves.
Ouch.
So, I know, kind of crazy. And also, that looked like super fucking expensive. I don't know where the kidnapper got all this money.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, owning a junkyard is very profitable. But...
I don't know.
Yeah, like, because he was like, I'm going to pay all this money for this gun.
And then also, I'm sure he has to pay a lot of money to get smuggled out.
Right. And he was, like, paying people off to steal stuff for him. But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this gun to use one time so I can kill this girl who I
can't get over.
Yeah, it's...
Instead of just straight up leaving.
Yeah.
When he has a chance. Like, when everyone thought he was dead, he could have left.
Yeah.
He could have gotten himself out of it, but instead he got a new look. To try to get her.
Yeah. I mean...
Obsessed
we
much.
know he's got issues, but financial planning is, I guess, not one of his strong suits. I don't know how he grew up. Anyway, Bong Soon thinks they should lure him somewhere first, so they have the upper hand, and Minhyuk gets upset that Bong Soon isn't afraid of guns. Because she's like, I'm not, or Minhyuk, I think, says something like, aren't you nervous? And she was like, no, like, I'm Strong Girl Bong Soon. And he was like, yeah, you're strong, you're like Bong Soon, you're not Wonder Woman, like, bullets can still hit you. Which I'm like, thank you, Minhyuk, for being the voice of reason. Because, like, sometimes I'm like, Bong Soon, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb of you to not be scared of bullets.
Strong girl, small brain.
Yes.
She's just like, I don't know. She's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Thinking about other things.
Toads. Gukdu tells Bong Soon that if the kidnapper calls her, to insult him because the kidnapper won't be able to handle a woman looking down on him, and this will push him to take the bait and show up where they want him to be. Gukdu finally tells the police unit Okay. Gukju finally tells his police unit information about the kidnapper leaving, and the police make a plan to catch him also.
Finally.
I know. Jesus.
Finally, he lets them in on things that he knows. Goodness.
I know.
Back at the cafe, Bong Soon's mom is having a tough time because her husband's not there. He's the one who did all the baking and dealt with customers and everything. So at this point, customers are complaining. They're wanting refunds. And she's about to fight with the customer because the woman says that the food wasn't right. Like, it tasted like egg or something. There's a big commotion happening. And then Min-hyuk walks in. And she completely 180s everything. And is instead complimenting the customer. Gives her a refund. Walks her out the door. Just incredibly nice. As nice as you could be. Then she tells... then Min-hyuk tells her he just dropped Bong Soon off at home. And wanted to stop by and say hi. And his mom and her mom and friends are drooling over him. He is the president. President An. Son-in-law An.
Yeah.
Son-in-law president. They call him all these different names. He sits down with them and tells Bong Soon's mom that he'll bring Bong Soon's dad home since Bong Soon is pretty upset about the whole situation. His mom her mom tries to downplay the whole ordeal about him leaving and saying, like, oh, I'm just giving him space since our relationship is super passionate and sometimes we need a little bit of a break. Sure, Dan.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah, then she asks Min-hyuk for his birthplace and time, and he asks if it's for the fortune teller. And at this point, she's like, doesn't really want to say anything. And he's like, it's okay, I'm curious too. And then the mom and the friends get really excited. They're like, yes! You are? And he's like, if the result isn't good, visit every fortune teller in town until they get the result they're looking for. And they flip shit. Yeah. Screaming and just like completely fucking overjoyed. It's so funny.
Yeah, he's like perfect for everybody.
Yeah, it was a scene that I was just like giggling to myself watching on the sofa. So funny.
Also, I was thinking, like, I'm sure Min-hyuk he's probably, like, fucking scared of Bong Soon's mom. But since his mom is, like, dead, I'm sure it's nice to be, like, cared for by older women as kind of, like, a mother figure.
Agreed, yeah.
Bong Soon starts writing in her Strong Girl journal about how she rescued the women and how she plans to catch the kidnapper. Then she gets a call from the kidnapper, and she follows the plan that Gukju gave her and provokes the kidnapper to meet her at the construction site where he had Kyungshin. Bong Soon tells Min-hyuk the plan, and he's very nervous, but she tells him to not worry about her. Okay. Hi, Bong Soon. The kidnapper starts getting all of his stuff ready, and we cut to Bong Soon getting ready, and everyone's just, like, getting pumped for this meeting. Bong Soon goes to the construction site, and we see Min-hyuk and Gukju are watching her. They kind of, like, whatever, have her back. And they all have earpieces so they can communicate with each other. Min-hyuk tells them to be on the lookout since the kidnapper will be perched up high for a sniper shot. The kidnapper shoots Bong Soon, and then Gukju sees him and runs after him. Min-hyuk runs up to Bong Soon to make sure she's okay, and then starts running after the kidnapper also. He finds where the gun is, and they see the kidnapper drive away. Min-hyuk tells Gukju to follow him, and he thinks that the kidnapper has moved the date up and will be trying to leave that night. The boys find him at the port, and Gukju chases the kidnapper around while Min-hyuk is watching him with a drone and giving Gukju directions. It's actually, like, a pretty cool
I enjoyed
situation.
That scene a lot.
Yeah. Min-hyuk gives a signal, and shipping crates are moved so that he is trapped, and we see Bong Soon standing on top of the crates.
Cue the bow wow wow wow.
Yeah.
She's just, like, badass jumping on top.
So cool. We see Bong Soon standing on top of the crates. The kidnapper does that classic, like, villain thing, and says, like, but I shot you. And we get a little flashback, and we see that Min-hyuk gave Bong Soon a bulletproof vest.
Duh, kidnapper.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go for the head when you're a sniper?
I was thinking that.
Like, you have the fucking crosshairs. And obviously you're a good shot, unlike us playing PUBG. You can't fucking aim for shit. Like, he was dead on.
Yeah. Have you seen Endgame?
No.
Okay.
Wait, have I...
Avengers.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, I did, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't even know if this was in Endgame. No, I think it was in fucking Infinity War, but when Thanos is like, you should have gone for the head, and then snaps.
That's right.
I was thinking this, like, why did he shoot her in the head?
Because then there'd be no Strong Girl Bong Soon.
Right. I was thinking, to me, it would be better writing if they showed him being, like, a fucking mess and, like, being shaky.
Yeah, fumbling.
Yeah, and then, like, Gukdu running up to him or something, and he just, like, gets a quick shot off.
Yeah.
And Bong Soon can still wear the bulletproof vest, but he looks, like, very proud of himself, like, yeah, got her.
Yeah, and nobody knew where he was at that point. He's so high up, he's not seen it all. He's not in a rush for time, like a real rush.
Mm-hmm.
He could have easily gotten the correct shot and done the job and then left. But,
whatever.
I mean, it's TV. So.
Yeah. We'll go with it. Then Bong Soon starts throwing walnuts at the kidnapper and starts talking shit to him while Gukdu and Min-hyuk watch from the drone. The kidnapper finds an opening and tries to limp away, but then Bong Soon throws a cage on top of him. The Superpower Girl song plays, and Bong Soon walks away like a badass with her 2 dude sidekicks.
I love that scene a lot.
I know.
That was a good ending of an episode.
It really was. I love that Min-hyuk is, like, the cool dude, just, like, with the drone.
Yeah.
He's so rich.
Gamer.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
All right. Episode 16, the final episode. It is actually called Final.
Yes.
And the Netflix synopsis says, as Bong Soon prepares to launch her online game inspired by her own story, she no longer feels ashamed to be her, quote, special self offline as well. Okay. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is a wrap to the series.
Yeah. This is true.
Yes, exciting.
There is talk about the game in this episode. Quite a bit of talk. So Min-hyuk is very happy and trying to celebrate their victory and reminisce about when they first met, but Bong Soon is, like, passed out asleep in the passenger seat, just
so
knocked
sleepy.
the fuck out. Yeah, she just kicked someone's ass. She's tired. Gukdu interrogates the kidnapper, and the kidnapper's a creep. He basically just tells Gukdu that he did all the kidnappings for fun, and he liked how obedient the women were and how they begged him to not kill them, and when he told them to starve, they starved, to get on their knees, they did, blah, blah, blah. And he has terrible and creepy laugh that he does all the time. And he does that, and then we get shots. Oh, and then as he's doing that and, like, giving them this response, Gukdu loses it, attacks him. His coworkers stop him, and then one of them attacks him. And she's like, why'd you stop him? You just wanted to get some shots in yourself. We then get shots of everyone who we've kind of been introduced to, celebrating the fact that the kidnapper has in fact been caught, and everyone's just very excited about it. They're all reading the news, checking their phones, telling each other. It's cute.
Yeah, and Baektak is like, we fulfilled our duty.
Yeah,
we contributed.
He couldn't be happier. Life is back to normal. So normal, in fact, that Min-hyuk goes into work with his hoverboard.
The good old days.
Yes, everything's just peachy now. Bong Soon and Min-hyuk have a meeting with Mr. Gong so they can prepare for the presentation she will give for her game. And Min-hyuk is super giddy when she says that, I love this scene, when she says that the game ends with Bong Soon, am I pronouncing it right?
I think so.
Rescuing Prince Min Min, and they live happily ever after. And he does the, how do you say it again?
Like eggyo.
Eggyo. He does a little eggyo thing where he's just, like, super excited and doing the little claps and just, like, happily ever after. I love it. I just love this game so much. Yeah, I like how they say that in English. Everything about that scene is so funny and cute. That was another moment where I was just kind of giggling. And then we have Min-hyuk and Bong Soon leaving holding hands. Mr. Oh comes in and talks to Mr. Gong about how they are both lonely. They're becoming very, very good friends, I feel. Bong Soon tells Min-hyuk that her dad still hasn't come home and that he needs more time alone. Min-hyuk tells her that he'll deal with it and call her dad and be, like, super macho about it, which he doesn't ever come across as macho to me.
I think he was kind of making a joke, like, I'll get your dad back. Whatever.
She kind of, like, pats him on the head and is like, that's great. Okay.
I love them. They're so cute. Bong Soon's mom complains to her friends about her husband, and they bring up how she beat him up before. They're like, why are you surprised that your husband left? Like, you were terrible to him.
Yeah.
And she tells them that she never hit him. Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Classic abuser.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so her story is, I never hit him. I just pushed him. Which is kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. I just pushed him and he hit his face on the sewing machine. That's still abuse, people. Definitely. But whatever.
They look at her like, that's still abuse.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Bong Soon's mom. She says that she doesn't use violence to fight anymore. She prefers to cut people down with words. Yeah, she's just...
And her eyes.
A super bitch. I know, I love this actress. Like, she has such a great face.
Mm-hmm.
Really similar to, what's that girl from Romance as a Bonus Book?
The boss lady?
No, the, like, girl who couldn't do anything. She was really rich.
Oh, Jill?
Jill, yeah. Like, she made great faces, too.
Hers are all just, like, silly and cutesy and dumb.
Yeah.
And this one's like, oi, she's scary.
Yeah, well, it's because now she's a mom. And she's got that, like, tiger mom.
Yeah.
Instincts. So, Min-hyuk goes to visit Bong Soon's dad, and Bong Soon's dad says that he only answered the phone because it was Min-hyuk, and he's officially off the grid. It's a lot, dude. Like,
yeah,
you're too old. You're too old, but also too young, like, to go off the grid like that. You have responsibilities. They drink a little bit, and then Min-hyuk asks Bong Soon's dad to come home. He asks why, and Min-hyuk tells him it's because that he wants to marry Bong Soon. Aww. Yay! Her dad is shocked, and Min-hyuk, like, word vomits how much he loves Bong Soon, and how he wants to marry her right away, and how it feels like an eternity being away from her, especially at night, which makes her dad upset, and he's like, hey, I'm still her dad, like, and then Min-hyuk slaps himself in the face. They keep talking about Bong Soon, how she's strong but fragile. And Min-hyuk says that she is like him. He feels like he only matters when she is in his life. He also thanks her dad for raising her to be such a beautiful person, and then tells him he'll take the responsibility for making her happy. It's all very sweet stuff. Mm-hmm. Her dad agrees and tells Min-hyuk that he's good at charming people and is probably a player. I really liked that scene. Like,
it's a good scene.
Of dad. Again, like, Min-hyuk's dad kind of fucking sucked. Mm-hmm, so it must be nice to be around, like, a father.
Normal dad.
Yeah, who, like, actually cares about his children.
Yeah.
Bong-ki and Hee-ji meet up. Remember her?
Yeah.
She needs to leave to perform in Vienna, and they basically break up since the timing isn't really working out. Bong Soon tells Kyung-shin what it's like to be in love with Min-hyuk. Aww. And then Min-hyuk brings Bong Soon's dad home, like, super drunk.
Very drunk. Falling on the floor drunk. Mm-hmm. Bong Soon's mom makes Min-hyuk stay, and she forces them upstairs to hang out in Bong Soon's room. Ooh. Mm-hmm. They're being really flirty and romantic, and then Bong Soon's mom busts in with fruit for them. It's like, eat this fruit. I will leave y'all alone now.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, she's not going to come up again, is she? And then Bong-ki comes in and interrupts. He's like, oi, uh-oh, I'll leave now.
Yeah.
And they decide to just, like, go their separate ways. Very uncomfortable and awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So they leave, and they do the new, like, cutesy couple things where they're kind of just lingering. They keep telling the other person to go home first, to leave first. And Bong Soon's mom is just like, you can sleep over.
Wink. I don't know why she wants Bong Soon to, like, fuck him so bad.
Yeah.
She just, like, cannot let it lie.
And she already knows he likes her.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already always together. Like, something's already going on. You don't need to really worry about it or meddle that much at this point.
Yeah. It's weird.
She's a little bit crazy. Then we get some more big tech monk stuff, and apparently he's a fraud. He's not even Indian, right? That's who he was claiming to be?
Yeah, he's claiming to, like, have grown up in India.
Yeah, and to be, like, an actual monk. But no, he's just, like, a fraud who's taking money from people. Which, the way he talked to him before, I don't know. He was fishy from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Just a random scene. All the things with the monk were just like, the fuck?
Yeah, so not necessary.
And that never even goes anywhere. Spoiler alert. Like, do we ever find out anything? I don't think so.
No, all it is, yeah, like, I think that's it. Like, he's a fraud, and
they're looking for him, and then it shows Gukdu's, one of his, like, coworkers putting up a wanted poster, and that's it. Pointless.
Yeah.
Whatever. The kidnapper gets life in prison, and Min-hyuk wins an award from the police since Bong Soon makes him take credit for catching the kidnapper. Gukdu and Bong Soon are teasing Min-hyuk about the award, and Gukdu tells him that he's being transferred to the Gangnam? I can never pronounce that fucking word. Gangnam station.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting scene because they're both teasing Min-hyuk, and it seems like Gukdu and Min-hyuk are cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're chummy now after they helped save the day or whatever.
I think they're kind of frenemies.
I guess, yeah. Just like, get over it, Gukdu, come on.
Uh-huh. So, they never really say where Min-hyuk lives, because Min-hyuk is annoyed that Gukdu is being transferred to the Gangnam station, which makes me think, like, maybe Min-hyuk lives in that area.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he is really rich, and Gangnam is, like, the richy rich and business district.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why Min-hyuk is getting an award from that station instead of the one where Gukdu is at.
He is getting the award where Gukdu is at, I think. But Gukdu is saying, like, I'm wrapping stuff up here after this and being transferred.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I get it now. Never mind.
Okay. But yeah, I'm like, why is Min-hyuk so upset? Unless he lives in Gangnam, in which case he'll be around again. But Gukdu makes a comment like, nice knowing you. Like,
I don't know.
It's
weird.
It's weird. I don't know the geography of
It's not
everything.
like Min-hyuk's going to be at the police station every day. But then again, Bong Soon said, like, you're always going to take the awards for me.
Uh-huh.
Because I can't be found out, so get used to it.
Yeah.
Bong Soon's presentation goes well. It's funny because it seems like a big deal and, like, really kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she's presenting, there's, like, 10 people in the audience. So a lot of empty seats.
And like Bluebeard and his
Yeah.
second prize.
It's like that same scene. They just put them on the stage real quick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it goes well with those few people, and then we get a little flashback, and we see how their relationship progressed, hers and Min-hyuk's.
So then we see Bong Soon's parents. They seem to be reconciling somewhat. And Bong Soon's mom even holds back when Gukdu's mom comes into the cafe. So we're seeing some growth, I guess.
Trying.
Gukdu and Bong Soon have a little moment where they reminisce about their past, growing up together, blah, blah, blah. Bong Soon tells Gukdu that she hid the fact that she was strong because of his comment about liking delicate girls. Gukdu calls her dumb. Fucking Gukdu, man. Gukdu calls her dumb and tells her he made that comment so that she could hear because he was talking about her.
Okay.
This is all this is happening while they're in high school, but it's so dumb. Like, they're supposed to be in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But now, like, whatever. Gukdu tells her that he liked her no matter how strong she was, and he asks if they'll be friends who won't ever change. That was kind of weird phrasing. I don't know if they phrase it the same, Nikki, but do you think he was alluding to, like, we'll always be friends in kind of both senses? Like, we'll always be friends, and that, like, we'll always be here for each other, but also, like, we'll never be more than friends. Like, we're never gonna, a romantic relationship is never really gonna work out between us. I guess it works on both levels. She says yes, and he tells her to be happy, and she tells him to be happy too. It's weird because Bong Soon's body language in this scene is, like, not super into it. I feel like she seems a little reserved. Which, I mean, I kind of would be too if I knew, like, one of my best friends liked me and I was like, I like somebody else, and yeah, we're always going to be friends.
After liking him for forever too.
Yeah,
it's probably also weird, like, I don't know, this person you thought you were supposed to be with since you were in high school or however long she's known him, and then realizing, like, oh, he's not the one. But, like, those feelings I don't know, they're still kind of there, and those memories of those feelings.
Yeah.
It's probably a weird moment.
Yeah, totally. So Bong Soon thinks about their past some more, and she finally changes Gukdu's name in her phone to my handsome friend Gukdu, instead of just handsome Gukdu.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really needing to clarify that they're only friends.
Yeah. I thought she was just going to delete the handsome part.
Yeah, I know.
And just leave it at Gukdu.
I know, me too, but she just put friend.
I feel like saying handsome will still get Minhyuk, like, change it.
I would be kind of...
Or he's gonna go in and change it for her.
Like, if you saw a girl in Andrew's phone, and it was, whatever, beautiful
friend.
Yeah.
Be like, the fuck?
Who do you
is
think
she?
Who's beautiful? Is she more beautiful than I am?
Yeah, I don't know. And
awkward.
Again, especially because of what he knows about their relationship and how her feelings were towards him.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
It is. So Gukdu cries in his car, which I feel like is very endearing. Like, they should have made Gukdu... Well, I guess if they had made Gukdu likable like that, the whole series, it would have been hard for, like, people to get behind Minhyuk, maybe. But he cries in his car and pulls out the necklace that he bought her out of his glove box.
Oh,
I know. So Gukdu and Bongki play basketball, and Bongki apologizes for dating Heejee. And Gukdu's like, it's fine, whatever. And Gukdu asks Bongki if he knew about the feelings that Bong Soon had for himself, Gukdu, and why he never said anything. Bongki tells him that Bong Soon made it very clear that she liked him, which, thank you, Bongki. Like, I feel like he's the voice of reason throughout the show sometimes. And so Bong Soon, oh my god. So Bongki is like, she made it clear, I didn't need to, like, step in. But Gukdu tells Bongki that he didn't realize that, like, Bong Soon liked him because he also liked Bong Soon and he was overwhelmed by his own feelings.
Okay.
It's so dumb. Like, from
the clips we saw, it never looked like that.
I know, because if you really liked her, I feel like you wouldn't be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Like, fucking don't be dumb. Like, don't look pretty. Don't...
Yeah.
Whatever. He's such a fucking idiot.
Coming up with excuses after the fact.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where he didn't appreciate Bong Soon until she was gone. And he was like, oh yeah, maybe I did like her this whole time.
Yeah. Now that he can't, quote, have her, he's like, oh wait, there is something special about her.
Minhyuk was right. Guys do not like having other guys be into their whatever.
Yeah.
Girls.
Mr. O tells Bong Soon, Minhyuk, and Mr. Gong that the development strategy team voted unanimously to have Bong Soon join their department, and she will work with Mr. O on developing her game, and he thinks it will be a good project. And he even tells Bong Soon, quote, not bad. Mr. Gong tells Bong Soon that Mr. O is the best in the industry, and if he likes her game, it'll surely be a success. That's good. That's good to know that Mr. O is very good at his job. And then we have another why though moment, with the toothless guy at the dentist, and he just falls for some girl.
It's so unnecessary.
It's ugly. Like, no one wants to see this guy at this point.
I certainly don't.
No, he plays no role in the show at this point.
Other than just being dumb and gross.
Yeah, he's disgusting. Yeah. Not interested in seeing him at all.
No.
Ugh. So, anyway, I'm just gonna skip over that. Minhyuk then runs into the hoodlums in the parking garage.
I love this scene.
And they confront him about being Bong Soon's boyfriend. And they call Bong Soon their boss/mentor. And he's like, the fuck? What are y'all doing here? And then he decides to buy them lunch and get the whole story. And they beg him to not hurt Bong Soon and make her happy. And he's just like, okay, y'all eat whatever you want. Study. Go to school. Don't worry about her. Everything's fine.
And he's like, slow down. Like, I'll buy you more food if you're still hungry.
Yeah. Those guys are fucking doofuses.
They totally are.
But they're so funny.
Yeah, I would have liked more hoodlum stuff rather than more.
Yes, I was just going to say
stuff.
that. The hoodlums were definitely more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Than just seeing gross dudes in hospital beds not able to eat.
Yeah, and like they mention their blog. Like, I would have liked to know more about...
That's obviously popular if she's asking them to, like, put the kidnapper's face all over it.
More hoodlum stuff, less hospital gangster stuff, more Min-hyuk and Bong Soon stuff. Agreed.
Min-hyuk goes back to work and sees Bong Soon working in the development department. Then he gets a text from Gukdu asking to meet up, and they kind of talk it out. Gukdu tells Min-hyuk that if he ever hurts Bong Soon, he will kill him.
Jesus.
Okay. That's when I was like, they sound like they're friends earlier on, and then he calls him to fucking say that. And he, like, grabs him, too, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it gets real aggressive out of nowhere. It's bizarre. Then they basically tell each other, like, well, I don't like you. I don't like you. And then Min-hyuk tells Gukdu to stop watching them since he'll just be upset.
Yeah. I think that's a good observation from Min-hyuk. Like, because I think Gukdu makes a comment like, well, I'll always have, like, my eyes on you or whatever.
Making sure you're
treating her.
Yeah.
And Gukdu's like, or Min-hyuk is like, hey, why don't, like, how about you don't do that so you can move on and be happy? Because if you just keep focusing on us, you're going to be upset the whole time.
All upset.
Gukdu don't know how to live.
No. Living in the past, man, at this point. It's over. So then Gukdu tells Min-hyuk things about Bong Soon, like how she's allergic to peaches, she likes baseball, being in the mountains, and how to make her fall asleep by having her read. He's like, do all the, like, if she can't fall asleep, make her read. Like, that'll knock her out right away. You should know these things. And then he walks away. Min-hyuk is really annoyed and is like, I already know those things. Duh.
Yeah. He's like, I know she likes spicy stuff. I want her chicken feet. But that is such, like, a douchey move. Being like, I know all these things about her.
Well, it's like, no fucking duh. You've known her forever. Like, you're best friends with her brother.
Yeah. Just because you know facts about a person doesn't mean you're close to them.
Or you're meant to be with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Min-hyuk gets annoyed and calls Gukdu rude. Yeah. Min-hyuk just has the perfect reactions to Gukdu also. Bong Soon feels accomplished since she achieved her goal of developing a game based on her life, but she feels a little conflicted since she also wants to help people in real life. She has a hard time working at Einsoft and saving people, like, managing her time. Because, I mean, Bong Soon, again, is, like, not the sharpest tool in the shed to begin with. So I'm sure, like, doing actual, like, work and then, like, trying to help people.
Yeah.
Very time consuming. Bong Soon's family and Min-hyuk and Kyungshim have a little barbecue, and it looks really nice. Bong Soon and Min-hyuk go on a little walk, and she tells him that she wants to use her power for good now, since she got it back. And he tells her that she's awesome, and he will always be on her side. And Min-hyuk finally calls her Strong Girl Bong Soon, or, like, Strong Woman to Bong Soon. Do they say the latter in Vicky, or does he call her Strong Girl Bong Soon?
I think he said Strong Woman.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he said that because that's the actual name. But on the Netflix subtitles, he says, like, Strong Girl Bong Soon, which I thought was kind of funny. So I love it when characters say the name of the movie
title,
or the show. I don't know why. I just always get a kick out of that.
There it is.
Got it. So Bong Soon starts skipping out on work and saving people and rescuing elephants and shit. And Mr. O understandably gets really upset because, like, this is his job and it's very unprofessional of her. The hoodlums start getting requests from people on their website asking Bong Soon to help them, and she takes down a flasher.
Such a dumb scene.
I know.
Throws a shoe at him.
So Mr. O finally confronts Min-hyuk and tells him that Bong Soon has missed too much work, so he is transferring her out of the development department. Again, very fair, I think. Bong Soon comes into Min-hyuk's office, and Mr. Gong tells her that she's been transferred out. She says that she knows, and Min-hyuk asks if she's happy. I think he's, like, trying to get after her a little bit. She replies yes, and says that she thinks that she was meant to be an intern. He tries to get mad at her again, and she keeps flirting with him, asking if she should just be his bodyguard instead, and he gets, like, all flustered and giddy, and poor Mr. Gong walks out. Man, she, like, really knows how to, like, play him.
And just make him melt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's very good at that. Mr. Gong and Mr. O watch Bong Soon and Min Hyuk leave work for the day, acting super cute. And Mr. O says he envies how happy they are, being in love and dating. Mr. Gong tells Mr. O that he should date someone nice. And Mr. O tells Mr. Gong to not fall for him. And then they tease each other and fight again. Then Mr. O starts shouting to everyone in the lobby that they are dating to tease Mr. Gong. Really goofy scene between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Again, good duo. Mm-hmm. Good comedic little duo. Bong Soon writes in her journal and her dad walks in and tells her how much he likes Min Hyuk. How Min Hyuk is the only man that he feels comfortable sharing Bong Soon with. He tells her to be confident doing what she loves. Sweet moment between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Bong Soon goes to work and sees Min Hyuk has left a stuffed animal and a note on her desk telling her he wants to take her out. They go on a romantic walk with the cherry blossom petals falling, and they mention how it looks like snow. Mm-hmm. And Min Hyuk tells Bong Soon that he fell for her immediately and how special she is. He tells her they should come back to the spot every year. She asks him what he was going to tell her on the rooftop, and he tells her that he doesn't think he can live without her and that they should stay together forever. And then he puts a tiny little dainty cute ring on her finger. And the romantic song starts playing and they kiss.
Ooh. Yeah. I think it's very interesting that engagement rings are always very understated in Korean dramas. Like, even if the person is supposed to be, like, super rich, like Min Hyuk, the rings are always, like, the diamond on the rings is always, like, very small. Or sometimes it's not even, like, a diamond. It'll just be, like, a band.
Yeah. I think that's much nicer.
I agree.
Preferable over a giant-ass fucking rock, like... I don't know.
I agree. And what I think is interesting is while we were over there, like, I definitely did see some, like, big rings. So I'm wondering why they make them small in the dramas. I don't know. But I also did see, like, just a lot of bands. And I think, like, some married people in Korea, like, don't even wear rings or whatever. And I think it's also interesting that some not married people do wear rings. The jewelry aspect seems very loose over there.
We then cut to their wedding day.
Yay!
Very cute, very sweet. Min Hyuk walks into the waiting room area, and this is similar to Descendants, correct? Where Seo-young goes to visit his ex.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's in that room, and people get to say hi. Or
and at the beginning of Romance as a bonus book.
Yeah, okay. So, same thing. She's in this little waiting room area. And he comes in and he gushes over her. So this is before the wedding, right?
Yes.
So the groom is able to see the bride.
This is like their first
before
meeting.
The wedding. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I guess opposite to American weddings, people that are close to the bride like go visit her before they walk down the aisle.
Interesting.
So usually those rooms are like very nicely decorated, so everyone can take pictures together and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's nice. Nice and like quiet. Intimate setting. So yeah, he comes in and he's gushing over her, how beautiful she is and stuff. Her dad cries, which is such a cute moment.
I love her dad so much.
And then her mom is just completely in love with Min Hyuk and tells him he looks so handsome. Then we get shots of Mr. O and Mr. Gong coming to visit. Big Tech and his dudes and sunglasses, just looking like fucking cool mobsters. And then Gukdu's visiting, and then we have the wedding, and everything's so pretty. They're beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's cute shots of them taking their wedding photos. Mr. O has a tantrum at one point, it seems, wanting Min Hyuk, and I think Mr. Gong has to, like, carry him out again, as usual. Sweet moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think, like, besides the hoverboards, Bong Soon's wedding dress kind of dates the show because it's the like asymmetrical like high-low dress. Yeah, and I'm like, those are not in style anymore. But anyway, she looks cute. They look great. Then we cut to Bong Soon's mom at the temple praying to Buddha. She is asking for Bong Soon to have sons so they can live in peace, but Buddha smiles and they end up having twin girls. So stressful. Min Hyuk tries to hire Big Tech's men to be nannies, but no one can handle it because they're strong girls. Poor Min Hyuk tries to take care of the babies, but they beat him up too. And he calls Bong Soon, and she's basically like, don't bother me at work, like, figure it out. Because he's trying to feed them, and like...
They keep punching him in the eye.
That beautiful face of his. She looks all badass on top of a roof, and we get a voice over her saying that there still needs to be someone to look out for the little people, and she wants to make the world a better place for her kids. Then she jumps off the rooftop and lands like a superhero while the Superpower Girl song is playing. And then bam. End of series.
That's it, y'all.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think?
I liked it.
I liked it a lot, too. I think it, for how many dumb storylines there were in the middle, I think it wraps it up very well.
I agree.
It just makes me sad that Min-hyuk's daughters beat him up.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I'm kind of just like, oy about is like the ending when they have kids. Like, y'all are a hot, young, newly married couple who, like, works in this awesome business. Like, you're a businessman of this fucking computer gaming company, and Bong Soon's making games and saving the world. Like, you're already gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Like, give it some time.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how much time has passed, but yeah. I really liked the scene where Min-hyuk comes in and he's, like, very excited that Bong Soon is, like, having the kids. That's sweet.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they did talk about wanting kids earlier.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree. It would have been nice if they were, like, 7 years later.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't know.
But.
I guess if you want them, have them. But
yeah.
I'm just like,
like, Donnie, like, you can be a mom, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah, we'll send them off to camp and never see them.
I did appreciate, though, that you never see Bong Soon with her children. You only ever see Min-hyuk.
Yeah, that's true.
And Big Tuk's dudes trying to be nannies. But yeah, I was like, fuck, twin girls. Twin strong girls. That sounds so stressful. And poor Min-hyuk's pretty face.
Yeah, Bong Soon is the only one that would be able to handle them.
I know, I'm
so
like...
she should be there.
Yeah, like, not because she's a woman, but because she's strong.
And she's not going to get hurt as easily.
Yeah, she should get her grandma to come over.
Yeah. Grandma's probably not doing anything.
Yeah, and her mom should beg for her power back so she can...
Yeah.
So she can be a grandma.
So she can help her handsome son-in-law.
Other than the babies.
Yeah, other than the babies is fine. And the ugly big tech dudes.
Yeah. So how would you compare, just off the top of your head, we'll go into like a deep dive next week, but how would you rank this being your third drama that you've ever seen?
More exciting than romance.
Definitely
more like action and storyline. More like comic booky cartoony. With like the funny sound effects and superpowers and shit. I still think I maybe like Descendants more.
Yeah.
I think the stories in Descendants of the Sun, like, it lined up better. And there weren't a bunch of weird things in between happening.
Yeah, the writing in Descendants of the Sun was better, but I also like how in Strong Girl or Strong Woman, whatever, they're not in Urk.
Yeah.
For like 2/3 of the show.
Definitely, yeah.
2/3 of the show. And
it's
like,
just prettier to look at.
It's prettier. It's like more fast paced. It's like, I don't want to say more modern, but yeah, it's just, I guess more fast paced. And I wouldn't say it's more exciting because a lot happens in Descendants of the Sun. But it has more of a youthful feel to it.
Agreed, yeah.
Side note, I don't even know if I should mention this, but Song Joong Ki and Song Hye Kyo are getting a divorce.
Oh no.
I know.
Oy.
Let's pour one out for their short marriages.
But pour a soju out.
Anyway, but I was gonna say the chemistry in between the leads, I think in all of them have been very good.
Yes, agreed. Definitely.
And like some people have theories that Park Hyung-sik and Park Bo-young, the girl who plays Bong Soon. I don't think people think they're actually dating, or I think some, like, crazy people on the internet are like, they're secretly dating. But, like, they've both made comments about how, like, they both really liked working with each other, and I think Park Hyung-sik made a comment about how, like, he fell in love with her, like, while making the show. But to me, it kind of seems like people took it out of context.
Yeah.
Like, I think he said something along the lines of, like, she's a very easy person to love, and, like, me being the character of Min-hyuk, I, like, fell in love with her while making the show. But obviously they are not their characters, so, you know, and they should be able to be with whoever they want to be with. But it's, like, very nice because, yeah, I did like their chemistry. It was very cute.
Agreed.
All right. So, no predictions. Because we're done. But do you want to go over some fashion?
Yes, please. You can go first.
Okay.
Fashion, turn to left. Fashion, turn to right. Fashion. Yes, God!
So, I have a lot. I wrote down a lot this time. Basically, I just want to say that Min-hyuk always looks great.
Agreed.
He has great jackets. I like the look the day that Gukju hugs Bong Soon and like Min-hyuk is hugging Mr. Gong. I don't remember that look, but I liked it.
But you labeled it.
I don't know why I thought I'm going to remember what he looks like, but I'll find it so I can show you guys. Follow us on Instagram so you can see that. I also like his leather jacket and hoodie combo. Again, basically, he just always has great jackets. Bong Soon's gingham tank top over the cream sweater and leather skirt.
I think I marked that one as well. Is it like a puffy black leather skirt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I marked that one also.
Min-hyuk's all denim look. He pulls that off very well. I don't think a lot of people could pull that off the way he does. It helps being, like, super fucking skinny. Probably.
Yeah, tall.
Bong Soon's blue dress while she's giving the presentation. I think I wrote down way too much stuff, to be honest. Oh, I also liked Mr. O's looks. His striped shirt and necklace combination.
I kind of like the blue top he was wearing at one point. It's kind of, like, flowy.
Yeah, where he's like, I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, like, I couldn't tell if I liked it or was just kind of meh about it. It looked a little interesting.
Yeah, I would say I was interested in it. I don't know if I liked it. Because it almost, like, it came to points, like, where boobs would be. Which I thought was kind of weird, but whatever.
You do you, Mr.
O. I liked Bong Soon's outfit when she hits the flasher. I think that is when she's wearing, like, a sweater vest situation.
I remember the scene, but I don't remember what she's wearing.
Yeah, it happened kind of fast, but it's, I think she's wearing a sweater vest, but it's not like a traditional sweater vest. It's almost like a sweater, what would you call it, other than a vest? Instead of being, like, fully enclosed on the sides, it's just, like, tied with, like, a bow. So you could still see, like, the, whatever, like, your rib area, I suppose. Min-hyuk's pink jacket when he proposes to Bong Soon. Very cute. And then, of course, Min-hyuk looks great in his tux. As usual.
I labeled her yellow sweater. She was wearing, like, a white graphic tee underneath. And I couldn't tell what the text said, but it was, like, bold text.
I think it said something like, a girl is a gun, or something like that. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I remember there being text. I just couldn't read it.
Yeah, I think that's what it... I don't know. That's what some of the words say.
Also, Min-hyuk, when he's wearing jeans, a striped shirt, and a denim jacket. It's like a striped red shirt. That was a good look.
That's maybe the look of the day where he goes to meet Gukju.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because that is when... because he's in the same clothes the next day when... He's, like, all happy.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so we figured it out. Good job.
Awesome. I also kind of liked Bong Soon's mom's pink jacket. She's wearing, it's like a pink like I guess maybe an older woman jacket, but it looked good on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bong Soon's outfit at the beginning of episode 16, which you already talked about, the puffy black leather skirt. And then I liked Min Hyuk with his white jeans, and then striped tee again, and a jacket. But I liked the white jeans a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They made his legs look even longer.
Yeah. I wish I looked good in white jeans. To be fair, I haven't worn white jeans in a while.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of white jeans.
I did have a pair of white, I guess you could call them jeans, but they were like cropped flares. But I like fucking stained them so bad.
That would be me.
And I brought them to Korea because I thought they would look cute, and I think they did, but I stained them like really, basically like beyond repair in Korea because I was an idiot and I wore them when we went to eat samgyeopsal, which is like where you grill like the pork at your table, and there's like fucking grease flying and like
dripping everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of dripping, and I didn't wear an apron, and yeah, so I'm thinking I might just cut them and make them shorts or something because they stained. Okay, yeah, great fashion series.
Agreed.
Again, I think the fashion still holds up 3 years later, other than Bong Soon's wedding dress. But even then, I mean, she looked really pretty. So.
Yeah.
Should we move on to I Love You?
I love you.
I love you. I will always love you.
I love you.
Yes.
Do you want to go?
Nothing like super big honestly stood out to me.
Yeah, I feel
even
like...
though like there's a proposal and an actual wedding and stuff, like I don't know. Nothing was big for me.
Yeah, I feel like episodes 11 through 14 were very heavy on I Love You moments.
Yeah.
I wrote down that the wedding and proposal was nice, but I really liked the moment with Bong Soon's dad. I liked both moments when he's with Min Hyuk and when he's with Bong Soon. Like, kind of talking about the other person.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's such a sweet guy. I mean, he's kind of a coward and probably needs to stand up for himself more.
Just a little.
But he seems like a good dad. So that's nice.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anti I Love You moment. Bonky and Heeji's cold breakup.
Yeah.
And Heeji's like, what went wrong? It's like, y'all have no fucking chemistry, probably. That's what went wrong.
Maybe it's her.
Maybe.
Maybe she's just kind of dull. I mean, some people are dull.
Yeah.
She was with Gukju, and Gukju's dull.
Yeah.
There's just two dull people together. And then she was with Bonky, and she was also maybe dull.
Yeah, and I mean, he's in medical school. She has to travel. Just like Bonky said, the timing isn't good for them. But anyway.
Womp womp.
I know. I feel bad because I kind of feel like the series just should have ended at episode 15.
Yeah. I don't know. 16 was just all happy stuff.
Yeah, it
Which
definitely
is nice.
like wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions about where anyone is after the series. Like, I feel good about everyone.
Everyone that's important, at least.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the monk or whoever. But, yeah. I don't know. I feel bad because I'm not, like, being very enthusiastic about it. But, obviously, it's probably, like, in my top 10 favorite dramas.
Well, I've heard you talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first ones, I think, you talked about.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it was, like, my first drama where I really got, like, addicted to them, probably. Because I had watched other ones in the past. Like, I think I was maybe in high school, even, like, watching them. But they're, like, old and whatever. Just every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, there's always a feeling of, like, we did it, and also, like, oh, well, it's done. Which I guess can have us move on to our next drama, which a Twitter follower / friend recommended to us, Davina on Twitter. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She recommended that we watch Search WWW, which I've already seen the first 2 episodes of. It's very good. I'm not going to watch any more, so we can, like, get on the same page.
Surprise for you.
Yes. So I can actually have predictions this time. But it's only on Viki, and I think Kokowa and other places on the internet. But it's not on Netflix, so if you don't have Viki or Kokowa and you listen to this podcast, I recommend you get it. There are free versions. You do have to watch commercials, but the subscription for it is, like, very affordable, I think. There's, like, a base tier where it's only, like, $5 a month or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and then I think, like, the Viki Plus or whatever, which is what I have, is, like, $9 a month. And I think the only difference is, like, for some shows you have to wait a few weeks before you can watch. But, I mean, yeah, there are so many more great dramas on Viki than there are on Netflix. Like, there's only a handful on Netflix, so I'm really excited.
And also, usually, I think the subtitles are probably not as good on Netflix.
Yeah, totally. So we'll get into it when we actually cover Search WWW, but it's really good. It's, like, very strong, woman-centered, and I think there will be a lot of stuff for us to talk about. And it has one of my favorite male actors. I think his name is, like, Jung Ki-young. He was in Come and Hug Me. No. Yes. He was in... I get that one and Just Between Lovers very, like, mixed up all the time because I watch them around the same time. And both of them, the titles sound very sweet, but they're both, like, very intense. So yeah. He was in Come and Hug Me, and then he was in Kill It, which, again, was also really fucking intense. But anyway, I'm excited to watch that one with you.
Cool.
And I'm excited we're going to do a Viki drama, and it's going to be awesome. So, yeah. Do you have anything else?
Next week we're having our sort of, like, recap award episode. We'll be joined by extra special guests.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I guess you'll be putting up the polls this next week. I'm going to have to figure out what awards we're handing out. Yeah. So those polls will be on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook this time around. And we'll kind of, like, calculate through all 3 platforms. Yeah, we will tally up the votes. We will put them in envelopes. We can do ASMR. We will send out awards to South Korea. I have to pay super expensive shipping costs. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following us on those platforms so your voice can be heard. Yes. Be a part of this OK Drama democracy as we hand out awards. What? Oh, I guess that's it. Yeah. I think so. So yeah, follow us on all those places. Stay in touch. Let us know other stuff you're watching because my drama addiction cannot be limited to one drama at a time. So give me other things that I should watch. And talk to Jill about stuff on Instagram too. Oh, we had one person on Instagram tell us that we need to look up the guy who played the kidnapper because apparently he's really handsome in real life. He's a model, which he's not a kidnapper. I don't doubt. I mean, I thought he looked very attractive when he had long hair, but, like, combed back when he was, like, being the witness. But there's an article. Get to know the actor behind the masked villain in Strong Girl Bong Soon. Ooh. I'll show you this photo where he has his arm, his hand just... Oh, very classic model face. Yeah, I mean, he has great skin. Yeah. I really want to know what foundation these people use, like, in the dramas and, like, the K-pop people. Yeah, they all look so good. Their skin always looks photoshopped, which, I mean, it might be. I'm sure that photo is, because it's a photo. Yeah. But,
And I know, like, you can retouch, you can use, like, certain filters or whatever, like, when you're making a TV show. But I'm like, how do you look so glowy, but matte in the right places, and just, like...
They all look like the perfect amount of, like, dewy and just...
But not...
fresh and young.
Yeah, they look fresh. They
clean.
don't look sweaty or, like, oily.
Grimy.
But yeah, they don't look oily. They look, like, lit from within. It's infuriating because I'm like, I want to know... Oh, okay. Because I was watching this thing with BTS, and, like, obviously their skin always looks amazing, too. But they were showing them without makeup on, just, like, in their everyday wears, and, like, they had good skin, like, probably great skin for young men, but it wasn't perfect. And I'm like, what foundation are they putting on you? Like, I need to know. I want to know what foundation you're using, because it looks amazing. I mean, I'm sure having professional makeup artists do your makeup doesn't hurt either, but I don't know. Just something to think about.
Magic.
If you have some insight into that, let me know. I'm very interested. Please. How do we get into that?
Talking about the model.
Oh, yeah.
Kidnapper model.
That's just something that's been on my mind for a while now. So anyway, yeah. Hang out with us online.
Yeah, find us places.
You can send us an email if you have a longer list of recommendations, like K-beauty-wise. Email them to us at okdramapodcast@gmail.com. You can send us other stuff, too. I'm just very, like, hyper-focusing on foundation at this point.
You want that foundation.
I do, because my skin has gotten a lot better, I think. I've stuck to a very strict regimen as of late. But I still have, like, some acne scars because my skin scars very easily. So, yeah. I'd like to cover that up sometimes. But, anyway, that's besides the point. What else? I'm rambling. Rate, review, make us happy. You know.
You know the stuff.
All that normal jazz. So yeah, so look forward to next week. Vote in our polls. And we will talk to you guys then. Bye.